My name's Justin, and this is Azul. We're going to be teaching the euphonium today. So, Azul is going to start by teaching us how to properly open our cases.
So when you have your case for euphonium, you want to make sure that the flat side is flat and the upper side is up. You want to make sure not to open this the wrong way because you'll have the instrument fall out. So like right here, I have these latches. So you just like pull one up at a time. And there's about a couple of them, so you gotta find them all. And once you get those, you want to make sure you can just lift the lid carefully so that nothing falls out. That's how you open the instrument case. You want to make sure they don't have it upside down, because if they have it upside down, everything will fall out.
Alright. And so, now, once you've opened the case, I'm going to open mine really quick. The next step is to take the baritone out of the case. Alright? So when you're doing this, you want to be very careful. It's a very heavy instrument. And you are little children. So you need to make sure when you grab it with both hands on parts where it's not going to fall out of your hands, right? So I got a good grip on it here. Alright, and so you see how there's this little pipe coming out the end of it? This is called the lead pipe of the instrument. Alright, so we want that facing us, alright? Because if you're holding it like this, you're not going to be able to play it. Alright, so you got to put it this way, where the pipe is facing your face. Alright? And then once you've got it in your lap, you want to set the middle of it between the legs for now. Come around and hold it on the side over here. Some euphoniums have this little button on the side. If you have that, that's where you put your left hand. If not, then you'll just grab it around the side, just with a good grip, so that you can hold it up with this arm. And then these fingers go on the valves. The valves are these buttons. So you just put one finger on each valve. You want to use your index finger, middle finger, and your ring finger for the first button, the second button, and the third button is what we call it. And then you're going to put your thumb between the two valve casings of the first and second valves. And the valve casing is just these little cylinder parts. So you're going to put your thumb there, fingers on the buttons, reach around, and you got the other finger over here for this button. So when you're playing, you're actually going to lift it up like this, off of your body, and then eventually we're going to have mouthpieces right here, which will go up to your face. And you put your fingers on the valves, and you're able to hold it like this. And then when you're holding it, you want to make sure that you don't hold it too low or too high. You're going to hold it right about the middle so that you have a good balance point on it, so that you're not sliding around or tempted to drop it. It is a heavy instrument, so just be careful.
Some of these instruments might be a little bit different. Like my valves here are on the front side instead of on the top. So with that, and I don't have the key coming out of the back end like Justin's instrument does, so you don't want to have your arm wrapped around it. And there's like this little ring here where you can rest your thumb on. And you want to have your index finger on 1, middle finger on 2, ring finger on 3, and pinky on 4. Because this would be a 4-valve instrument.
Right. They're not all the same, so you got to look and see whether yours has 4 buttons altogether, or just 3 and then the one on the other side. Alright, so once we have learned how to hold the instrument, we got to learn about breathing, right? So let's go ahead and put our instruments very carefully back in the case. So you're going to make sure you grab it with 2 hands on parts of the instrument where you're not going to drop it, where you have a good hold, and set the instrument lightly and gently in its case like you found it. Alright, so Azul's going to teach us about breathing.
So when we talk about breathing, David Vining talks about moving the rib cage with breathing instead of like belly dance breathing, because belly dance breathing would be just bringing your stomach out like, but breathing from your ribs, where you move your ribs, you're taking in a lot of air and you're making sure your ribs move, and you can take in more air and release more air, and it gives you like almost an endless supply of air there. And you should always use more air than you think you need. Waste air because it's free.
Right. So we have a couple of exercises actually to help us with our breathing. In a minute we're going to be buzzing our mouthpieces to make the sound, which goes into the instrument. But before you can buzz the mouthpiece, you have to have air, right? There's a guy named Arnold Jacobs, famous tuba player, who taught a lot of brass, really good players, and so he came up with a few of these exercises to help us learn how to breathe correctly. So first we got this pinwheel. So the idea of the pinwheel is, breathe like Blue was talking about. Just from the ribs. You should feel your ribs expand when you do this. And then you want to breathe in slowly and then breathe out slowly and get the pinwheel spinning. But you want it to go kind of slowly. Alright? So watch this. You see how it spins slowly but consistently? If I blew it and it went and didn't really go, that would tell me that I'm not breathing well enough. Or if it's going too fast, that would show you that my air is too fast. You don't want that either. You want a slow breath in and a slow breath out. You want to try it?
Yeah. So with this pinwheel, consistency is a real big part to this. You don't want to be able to go like and be out of air, or be like, you need it to move consistently, like just to keep a steady airstream going.
Yeah. We also have this other tool over here called the spirometer. So now I want you to take your mouthpiece, be very careful with it because you don't want to drop it and break it. These mouthpieces are pretty big, but what you're going to do is you're going to put the end of the mouthpiece into the tube. Alright, and then there's a little meter on here. You want to make sure that your spirometer is on 0. And then what you're going to do is sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to put your mouth up to the mouthpiece. You want your lips kind of in the center of the hole. Alright? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a big deep breath, and we're just going to blow through it for now. We're not going to try and actually buzz just yet. And I want you to try and get that ball to stay up. Alright? There's going to be a little ball in it. And when you're blowing hard enough, it'll go up to the top. If you're not blowing hard enough, it'll stay at the bottom. Watch how I do it. You hear the ball click? You can't really see it on the video. But when you're blowing hard enough, it'll do that. You want to try it?
Yep.
Very good, very good. So when you're doing this, you want to put that same volume of air through the mouthpiece without the spirometer. So let's try that together. Right, and if you're doing it, chances are you might start to hear that buzz. If you're not, that's okay. So then when you're doing the buzz, what you want to do is kind of bring your lips in a little bit more, bring them together, and as you blow, what's going to happen is your lips are going to rub together and vibrate, and that causes the sound to go through the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
You want to demonstrate?
When you're, oh, okay.
You go. What were you going to say?
When you're playing these brass instruments, you want to think of using a really thick straw. A really thick straw that's going to press your tongue down and allow you to open up more, so you can take in more air and release more air. So you want to think like with a wide opening. And buzzing, to get different pitches when you buzz, you want to think of the corners. You relax and firm your corners. For a lower note, you're going to relax your corners. Like for a higher note, you're going to tighten your corners.
Right. So now that we've kind of gone over breathing and a couple of different exercises for breathing, let's go ahead and pick up the horns. Be very careful. You might want to set your mouthpiece down first. And then go ahead and grab both sides of the instrument. Wrap your arm around everything. Grab your mouthpiece. And what you're going to want to do is go ahead and put the mouthpiece in the lead pipe, the little pipe that's coming out to the side. Alright? Should fit in there pretty nicely. Hold up your horn. Put your fingers in the right place. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this big breath together, and we're going to do what you just did through the mouthpiece into the horn. Yeah? So we're going to breathe in for 4 and then play for 4. 1, 2. Very good. Alright, so that's pretty much how you get your first notes out. Alright, if we have more time, we'd probably sit and teach you all the different notes and things, but that's all the time we have for today. So,
Thanks for watching.